Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dive into a hidden legal trap that can freeze a family's inheritance, sometimes for years. But don't worry, we're also going to uncover the specific tool designed to get everything moving again when the unexpected happens.
Okay, so picture this. A family inheritance is finally being sorted out. But then, all of a sudden, the person in charge, the administrator, can't finish the job. Everything just stops. Bank accounts get frozen, property can't be sold, the entire family is left in this weird legal limbo. So what on earth happens now?
Here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll look at how an estate gets stuck in the first place. Then, we'll get into the legal solution, walk through the actual path to resolution, talk about why this all matters, and then wrap up with the key takeaways you really need to know.
So, how does an estate even get into a mess like this? I mean, it's not just some vague possibility. There are very specific, very real reasons that the whole process can just grind to a halt. Well, the most common reason is also the most tragic. The original administrator passes away before everything's done. But it can also happen if they become incapacitated, or maybe they're removed by a court for not doing their job right, or they might just abandon their duties altogether. And here's an interesting one. It can even happen when everyone thought the estate was settled, but then, surprise, new assets are discovered way later. Luckily, the legal system has a specific key designed to unlock this exact problem. It's a mechanism with a pretty old-fashioned Latin name, but trust me, its purpose is incredibly modern and practical. It's called Bonis Non Administratis, or just Bonis Non for short. Now, don't let the Latin scare you off. Its meaning is actually super straightforward. It literally translates to of goods not administered. All it really is the legal process for appointing a substitute administrator to step in and finish handling whatever assets were left behind. And this really highlights the crucial difference between these two roles. See, the original administrator, they handle the entire estate, right from the very beginning. But the Bonis Non administrator, they have a much narrower job. Their authority is only over the unfinished business. They're not starting over from scratch, they're just picking up the ball where it was dropped. Okay, so how does this actually work in the real world? What's the process for getting this new administrator appointed so they can finally get things moving again?
The first question, of course, is who can even apply for this job? The law doesn't just let anyone raise their hand. There's a very clear order of priority.
In the Malaysian legal system, for example, the law sets up a clear hierarchy. It usually starts with the people who have the most to gain from the estate getting settled, the residuary beneficiaries. Now, if they can't or won't do it, it moves down the line to the next of kin. In some cases, even creditors can apply. The public trustee, well, they're usually the last resort if absolutely no one else is able or willing. The whole process is a structured legal path. It kicks off with gathering all the proof you need, death certificates, original court documents, all that stuff. Then a formal application gets filed. From there, it's in the hands of the High Court. A judge reviews the case, and once they give it the green light, the court issues an official grant. That's what empowers the new administrator to finally finish the job. Now, I know what you're thinking. How long does all of this take? Well, every case is unique, and, complications can pop up. But for a straightforward case, you can often get it resolved in about 3 to 6 months. That's the time from getting all the paperwork ready to having that new grant officially in hand from the court. This isn't just about following some dusty legal rules. This whole procedure exists for a very human reason. It's really about protecting families, respecting someone's final wishes, and making sure things are fair. First and foremost, its whole purpose is to make sure that the deceased person's final wishes, the ones they laid out in their will, are actually seen through to the very end. It stops a person's entire legacy from getting stuck in administrative purgatory. And if you're a beneficiary, this is so important. This is your legal pathway to getting what you're entitled to. Without a tool like this, your inheritance could be tied up forever, leaving you unable to access assets that were meant for you. Ultimately, this whole thing unfreezes assets. It's designed to break through that legal paralysis, allowing property, investments, and savings to finally be managed and passed on to the rightful heirs, so the family can actually move forward with their lives. All right. Let's boil this all down to the essentials. If you remember anything from this explainer, make it these key points. So, in short, think of it as a legal rescue plan. When the person in charge can't continue, this process brings in a new administrator, like a substitute player, with a very specific mission: handle only the leftover assets. The goal is simple:
but absolutely vital to make sure a person's final wishes are honored and their family gets what they are rightfully owed. At the end of the day, understanding a concept like this is a powerful reminder about just how important it is to plan for the unexpected. It's not just about having a will, it's about making sure there's a clear plan for continuity, which kind of leaves us with one final question for you to think about.